Howdy, I'm John Richmond, and I'm the inventor of the Sluice Goose GOLDROP pay dirt and gold separating processor. What I have in my hand here is a new product from Dave Varabioff at goldbrick.com. This is Goldbrick. This is a hard rock experience for those of you who wish to have a hard rock experience, but this is a casting he's made with all sorts of different quartz and rocks and stuff inside of it. So you actually have to go through a manner of crushing this to process. So this ought to prove to be interesting. So I'll be crushing this up. First off, in that pan there, that's my mortar and pestle. So we'll dump it in there, and first off, get it broken up. Dave says the gold in this block is very effing small. So, we'll see after we get it all crushed up here what we got. Well, there we have a mixture, combination of what material is in that block. See, quartz and well, I don't see any gold. Not a pickers or anything. So what I'll do now is I'll run through this. I have a cone rock crusher that I made, and we'll reduce this down to powder and run it through the GOLDROP and see what's in it. Designed and built a cone crusher. The cone, which is the hammer, is a 40-degree punch, and the cup is 50 degrees. That leaves me a 3/4 inch opening at the top of the cup and cone when it is touching at the bottom with no gap. So as it hammers away, the rocks are gathered down as the taper gets smaller and smaller down to the bottom, and they exit very small. It's adjustable up and down. I can adjust it from a 1/2 inch opening down to just touching, and that's just basically 1-to-1 touch. So I can make 3/4 minus into powder. So now I'll give you a demonstration of how it works. So to that ore that I've crushed up there of Dave's gold block, I'm going to add these 2 pieces of quartz gold that I won at the 2019 GPAA Golden Treasure Show in Fresno. Dave contributed these to the raffle, and for $2 I won this quartz sample, quartz gold sample. So that one there, And this also was the same piece, but it broke off. But anyway, it's going to break off a little more because I'm going to throw these two pieces in there and reclaim the gold off of these two quartz and gold nuggets. So let's pound sand. Well, so far you can see what we've done here. This material here, you can already see it's making powder. This is basically what I'm looking for here. So we run this thing through 2 or 3 times, and all of this stuff will look like this powder. So this hammer is adjustable. So now I'm going to close it down. Make the opening even smaller. Oh, let me clear it up here. So you can see more and more of it is turning to powder, and this is what we'll get. So I'll continue on crushing until it all becomes powder. Well, here's the end result of the crushing process. All of that block is now just a bunch of powder. So now we'll liquefy to pre-fluidize this powder before we run it through the gold drop to separate our gold. This is the consistency of this crushed material after I've now liquefied it. And now we'll introduce this material through the gold drop and extract the gold. The first task is to set the drop water down to about 0.3 gallons per minute vertical flow, and then we'll introduce the pay dirt into the trap in order to watch and set the actual drop water setting. Now we'll introduce a little of the pay dirt into the funnel and down into the trap in order to set the elutriation water flow. Let's get a little scoop water going here. Now we'll be able to set it. First, we'll set the spin water so that we can see movement in the trap funnel. Okay, there's our disturbance. So let's reduce the disturbance just enough, just to make it flow. Now you can see at this setting here, the entire contents of the trap funnel is moving down towards the elutriation aperture of the drop tube. So now that we have that set, that's what you're looking for, just a nice mild drop in all of the material in the trap funnel towards the aperture of the drop tube. Now we can set the drop water at what we need to set it at. So let's do that. So let's move on down here. And now we can begin to close the drop water valve and watch the material drop down. So that looks pretty good there. I'm not sure if that's gold or what, but let's just bring it down a little bit more. Okay, well, I like the looks of that. We're getting a drop basically right down to where the water enters the drop tube. So any of the heavies with the gold are going to fall into the jar. So there's our total action of what all is happening in the trap, and that's what causes all the gold to drop out. So let's get to work. So after setting the elutriation or the drop water, we end up at about a 0.15 gallons per minute, approximately a cup of flow vertically in the drop to support the dirt in the trap. So now we're ready to process our pay dirt. Okay, time to wash it all up now. Wash out the bucket. bucket's clean. Funnel's clean. And we probably got most of our gold. But we'll give it 5 minutes in order to finish out. But in the meantime, let me show you what's going on inside the trap. So you can kind of see all the material is just kind of lazily floating around inside up the column and stratified according to its density. So all of this very gentle motion keeps the gold in the trap and hopefully falling into the jar. So now we'll go ahead and dump it, do a cleanup, and I'll show you what we got. What I have here is the contents of what was in the jar and also the trap. I allowed all the material that was still in the trap to settle into the jar too, so we can collect all of the gold that was in the gold drop. So let's see what's in here. It's pretty silty, fine, very fine stuff. Doesn't want to come out of the jar. Okay, there, the jar is empty now. So let's start shaking this thing around and see what the gold claw can recover here. Wow, that's quite a bit of gold. Well, there you have it. That's gold from Dave's Goldbrick. And even floaters too. Well, that's pretty cool, no doubt about it. A lot of fine, tiny gold. Here, let's see if we get a little closer. Here's, well, that flat one there is probably the piece of quartz I threw in there and got flattened out. So, that's pretty incredible. Well, there's that fine 400 mesh gold dropped out of Dave's Goldbrick. Pretty impressive. In about 15 minutes time. Well, there you have it. Gold processed by the Goldrop. www.buythegoldrop.com if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being interested.